Some of the most remarkable people in this world don't appear on movie screens or in sports arenas. They work in offices, study in classrooms, and raise families at home. They're just ordinary people like you and I, ordinary people who have experienced something extraordinary and survived. Journey Women Off the Map is a television series I directed and shot over a 12-year period. Unlike most explorer stories, these modern travelers are women, ordinary women who agreed to be filmed taking journeys to extraordinary places.
I went to Morocco because I've always been intrigued by the idea of venturing out into the Sahara Desert. There's some sort of romance or mystique about the desert. It's so huge.
For the first Morocco program, I was joined by my female host, Tamara.
Where are you from?
Yeah, from Toronto.
Oh, you are Canadian.
That's right, yeah.
The most friend of mine is from Canada.
Tamara's down-to-earth personality lent itself to a smooth interaction with the
Why do they wear a
locals.
shoe that covers their feet so much in the heat?
No, because the time when they ride the donkeys or camels or something. Yeah.
Where are the dyes from?
The grenadine.
Oh, grenadine.
The grenadine.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. The yellow, just the envelope.
The skin.
Oh, yes, the skin.
Yeah.
Yes. How we dye these things here.
Yeah.
And we have the
Color.
white.
What do they make that dye from?
That is from the pigeon.
From the pigeon?
The pigeon.
What part of the pigeon is that from?
You
Yeah.
see excuse me, the shit of the pigeon.
Yeah, we call it guano.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's
So the white dye is made from
white.
pigeon shit.
The second day in Marrakesh, my guide Jean-Paul took me to the market in Gemini Award. Gemini Award is sort of encompassed by umbrella food stands. And once you cross that threshold, you're just bombarded by vendors, and they're all trying to sell you things, anywhere from carpets to spices to jewelry. The thrilling thing I found was the acrobats and the monkey trainers and the snake charmers. It was like being at some wild circus.
His name is Coco.
On one occasion, Tamara and I were approached by a local who was quite evidently drunk, and he insisted on being our guide. We politely declined his offer. However, when he drew a small knife, we decided to get out of the market as quickly as possible. With him in pursuit, we ran down the twisting streets of Marrakesh. Fortunately, he didn't pursue us beyond a few streets.
As I watched the snake charmer, I was absolutely terrified.
Working very good.
I've never even touched a snake before in my life, let alone let some guy wrap one around my neck. But I found out that the snakes had been kept on blocks of ice to keep their body temperatures lower, and that made them more docile. And also their fangs had been extracted.
Next poison.
But knowing it didn't really make it any easier to kiss a snake. Zagora's market was much more rural compared to Marrakesh. They basically sold the same fruits and vegetables, but they also bought and sold livestock there. Sheep and goats and donkeys and camels, that sort of thing.
Indigo.
Indigo. Oh, yes.
Yeah, excuse me. Per collie, how much this?
Oh, no, I don't want that. It'll be 15 Canadian.
15.
15 Canadian. 15 Canadian. I found the merchants really aggressive, and whenever I went into a market, if I showed any interest in any of the things that was in my hand and sold to me before I knew it. No, I don't want the necklace. No.
Get my 30.
I found some of the men very sexually aggressive. I don't think they were used to Western women, the way we dressed or talked. It was a constant concern. You know, I always had to be aware of any body parts showing.
Now the corn of the animal Sahara.
I was really trying to discourage their advances. I was trying not to be a victim. There's a very different attitude about women in Eastern countries.
They want this. It's very good in black. All people here, traditional, they make black.
My guide dressed me up in the traditional Berber clothing. It was pantaloons, a small top, a kaftan, a kerchief, a shawl. And it was really restrictive and binding.
Tamara and I were invited to a traditional Berber wedding. The two brides were on horseback and the men carried palm branches. It was like stepping back in time. Unfortunately, they didn't want me to film the event.
It was cotton, but there were so many layers that it was incredibly hot. And most of the women wore black. I can't imagine how they moved around in the heat.
Want to cover 5,000 camel for that?
For me?
For 5,000 camel.
5,000 camels. I know, it was worth 5,000 camels. The following day, we went to visit a small village south of Zagora.
No.
Bonjour.
No.
Are they coming from school?
From school, yeah. Now we go to their home.
They're going home?
And eat in the afternoon, come back to school too.
What kind of jobs do you want?
For houses.
Oh, you want to build houses?
Build houses,
Yeah? And what do you want to be? He wants to be a teacher.
And him, he wants a doctor.
And she wants to be a doctor. It's a beautiful place.
Welcome.
This is sugar.
Oh, it's rock sugar.
Yeah, look, the green for tea.
Yeah, that's the mint. So you put the sugar right into the teapot.
Yes.
Yeah. Is the sugar from cane? Sugar?
Yeah. But much sugar, a little bit.
Oh, a little. Un peu. I noticed that the Moroccan people eat a lot of sugar compared to people in North America. People in North America really try to avoid sugar.
And after I go to the terrace for see.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Yeah, I bet there's quite a view up there.
Okay.
After tea, Sharif took us up to the roof of his house. What is this structure here? What is that, for washing and?
No, for cooking. For
cooking?
Yeah, cooking. Yeah.
Oh, the kitchen. What's that?
The date for eat.
Oh, dates.
Yeah.
Est-ce que t'appelles tu? Latifa.
Yeah.
Tamara. At what age did she first get married? At 15?
Yeah.
Tell her that I'm 29 and I still am not married.
Your brother.
Oh, she has a brother? Is he not married? Oh, he's married.
He's married.
How many wives is he allowed to have?
You can take 2 women, 3 women, no problem.
Oh, no problem. So I'll fit right in, eh? Maybe she can help me find one, a husband. Oh, dear. What's he saying?
اضرب انا سير
We have power. As we drove south from Zagora, the landscape really changed drastically from barren flatness of the Draw Valley into craggy cliffs and then into a really vast stony desert. It was something like being dropped into the Badlands of South Dakota all of a sudden. At that point, I was becoming more and more impatient. I couldn't wait to see my first glimpse of the Sahara. Have you ever traveled further?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
What, by camel?
By camel. It's not 10.
How far?
40 kilometers.
You've traveled 40
40 go
kilometers?
40 come back. 80. I come to Valley.
Oh, 40 into the desert. Oh. As we first approached the desert, my heart was leaping out of my chest. I was so excited. And finally, my guide and I walked out into the dunes of Tin Phu. I couldn't believe that I finally made it to the world's greatest desert. What a scene. It looks like Bethlehem.
Yeah.
As I watched the Berber guide round up the camel, I wasn't too impressed at his treatment of the animal. Not that he was rough on the animal, but he would hobble the animal. He'd tie the legs up so that the animal couldn't run off. But I guess there was nowhere to tie them. The grains of sand were a little small. Is this water for drinking?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey. Abram, the Berber guide, was a very friendly sort, always stopping and wanting to show me things. He was really informative. Oh, what plant is this?
With milk.
With milk?
Yeah.
Oh, it is white milk. What's the name of the plant?
In English, mother of milk.
Oh, really? Mother's milk?
Yeah.
That's really spiky. How can he eat that? Does it hurt the camel?
No, no problem for camel.
Yeah.
This is for Razi.
Oh,
Yeah,
you can shave your face
Yeah.
with that?
with this.
Oh, wow. Oh, wait. Oh,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah. For Razi.
Yeah.
Comme ça.
Let me see.
Ici, d'accord. For camel. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So I can truly say that riding a camel is not the most dignified thing I've ever done. I sat at the back of the camel with my legs spread wide apart and wrapped around the camel's hump. There was a backward-forward motion the entire time, and by the end of the trip, my entire neck and back were in total agony. As we were riding, at one point, a sandstorm picked up just to the south of us. It was really, really thrilling. Big brown line sort of off to one side, and within minutes, half the sky was brown, and then there's this whirling sand all around our heads. The guy told me to pull my veil up over my face. Now I know why they wear them, actually. They're really, you can see through them, but it really keeps the sand out. That was probably one of the most thrilling things that happened during the trip. It was really, really dramatic, really exciting. The bread making was a really unusual thing for me to see. First he built a fire and then took the embers from that and poured the dough over the embers. It's hot. Oh, I could see it cooking around the edges. Oh, that's wild. Finished? I don't know if I want to eat this. The bread was really good. I never tasted anything quite like it. I don't know whether it was the fire making or the dough. I was still terrified at the thought of snakes in the desert because I'd seen trails that resembled those of a snake. But one of the guides really put my mind at ease. He said there were no snakes in that particular region. And the trails that I'd seen were from scalarabi beetles, and boy did they come out at night. It was a bit of a welcoming committee. Sleeping under the stars has always been a romantic thing for me, but gazing up into the universe can also be pretty intimidating. Around the campfire that night, Abram began singing a traditional Berber song. It was really quite enchanting. It really made me feel a part of my surroundings. As I woke up in the morning after my first night in the desert, the sun was waking up too. And I knew that the desert sun and I had a long day ahead of us. Me a little kiss.
هلا وهلا له أشكون كيد السنان وهلا وهلا له باريس يا فرخان وهلا وهلا له أشكون القلب ديالان. Good.
Another one.
Another one?
Yeah.
Okay. قولوا حق زمالك. Chanson pour les camels.
So sing for the camel, but not me.
يلا غنونا مان بيتا الأحرار. الأحرار عاشق الأمراء نشتفي الأوطان للعلا علوى.
نار أفرقت فراشا قادمة عندنا تحمل البشاشة لونها أصفر مثل لون الذهب
As we rode out into the desert, I kept wanting to ride further and further. There was something really pulling me. I guess it was just basic curiosity of what lay further ahead. There's really a very strange loneliness about the desert. It's so vast. I felt really insignificant, very mortal and very small.